Good day, my name is February Idkir, and together with my groupmates Desiree Novarosa and Lito Parasan, we will report about the direction and rules in filtering and igniting a precipitate.
Okay, so first is the preparation of a filter paper. So the figures that you can see is that shows the sequence for folding and seating a filter paper in a 60 degrees funnel. So the paper is folded exactly in half, firmly creased and folded again. A triangular piece from one of the corners is turned off parallel to the second fold. The paper is then opened so that the unturned quarter forms a cone. Then, we will go to the folding and seating a filter paper. So first is fold the paper exactly in half and crease it firmly. Fold the paper a second time, then tear off one of the corners on the line parallel to the second fold. Open the unturned half of the folded paper to form a cone. Seat the cone firmly into the funnel and moisten the paper slightly and gently pat the paper into place. Then, the cone is fitted into the funnel and the second fold is creased. Seating is completed by dampening the cone with water from a wash bottle and gently patting it with a finger. Then the last, there will be no leakage of air between the funnel and a properly seated cone. In addition, the stem of the funnel will be filled with an unbroken column of liquid.
The second step in filtering and igniting a precipitate is the process of transferring paper and precipitate to a crucible. After filtration and washing have been completed, the filter and its contents must be transferred from the funnel to a crucible that has been brought to constant mass. Ashless paper has very low wet strength and must be handled with care during the transfer. The danger of tearing is lessened considerably if the paper is allowed to dry somewhat before it is removed from the funnel. Figure number 2 shows the process of transferring a filter paper and precipitate from a funnel to crucible. The first step is to pull the triple thick portion of the cone to the opposite side of the funnel. Second is to remove the filter cone from the funnel and flatten the cone along its upper edge. Third is to fold the corners inward. Fourth is to fold the top edge of the cone toward the tip to enclose the precipitate in the paper. And lastly is to gently ease the folded paper and its content into the crucible.
So next is the ashing filter papers. If a heat lamp is used, the crucible is placed on a clean, non-reactive surface such as wire screen covered with aluminum foil. The lamp is then positioned about 1 cm above the rim of the crucible and turned on. Charring takes place without further attention. A significant increase in smoking indicates that the paper is about to flash and that heating should be temporarily discontinued. The residual carbon is eliminated with a burner as described in the next paragraph. Considerably more attention must be paid if the burner is used to ash a filter paper, because the burner produces much higher temperature than a heat lamp. Thus, mechanical loss of precipitate may occur if the moisture is expelled too rapidly in the initial stages of heating or if the paper bursts into a flame. Also, partial reduction of some precipitates can occur through reaction with the hot carbon of the charring paper. This reduction is a serious problem if reoxidation following ashing is inconvenient. These difficulties can be minimized by the positioning the crucible as illustrated in the image. Ignition of precipitate, proper crucible position for primary charring is shown. So as you can see in the image, that is the proper crucible position for the primary charring. The tilted position allows for the easy access of air. A clean crucible cover should be kept handy to extinguish any flame. Heating should begin with a small flame. The temperature is gradually increased as the moisture is involved and the paper begins to char. The amount of smoke given off indicates the intensity of heating that can be tolerated. Thin wisps are normal. A significant increase in smoking indicates that the paper is about to flash and that heating should be temporarily discontinued. Any flame should be immediately extinguished with a crucible cover. The cover may become discolored from the condensation of the carbonoxyous products. This product must be immediately be removed from the cover by ignition to confirm the absence of entrained particles of precipitate. When no further smoking can be detected, heating is increased to eliminate the residual carbon. Strong heating, as necessary, can then be undertaken. This sequence is usually precedes the final ignition of a precipitate in a muffler furnace where a reducing atmosphere is usually undesirable. So the next is the using filtering crucibles. A vacuum filtration train is used when the filtering crucible can be used instead of paper. The trap isolates the filter flux from the source of a vacuum. Train vacuum filtration. The trap isolates the filter flux from the source of vacuum. So that's how they use the filtering crucibles.
And that's all for this report. Thank you for watching and I hope that you learned something on our report. Thank you!